Welcome to Globewise TV. Today, we're taking you on a journey through great 1970s sci-fi classics no one seems to remember. From mind-bending plots to surreal visuals, these hidden gems will blow your sci-fi-loving mind. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button now and join our community of movie explorers. And don't forget, tell us in the comments which 1970s sci-fi classic is your favorite. Number 10. The Terminal Man, 1974. In the mid-1970s, long before artificial intelligence and brain chips became real-world debates, the Terminal Man quietly explored a future that felt uncomfortably close. Based on a novel by Jurassic Park creator Michael Crichton, the film follows a brilliant scientist suffering from violent seizures, controlled by an experimental computer implanted directly into his brain. At first, the technology works perfectly. But soon, the machine begins to learn, and what it learns isn't mercy. As the device adapts, each electric pulse meant to calm him instead feeds his aggression, slowly turning science into a ticking time bomb. The horror doesn't come from monsters or aliens. It comes from misplaced trust in technology. At a time when computers filled entire rooms, the Terminal Man dared to ask a haunting question. What happens when we surrender control of the human mind to machines? Overshadowed by flashier sci-fi hits of its era, this film faded into obscurity, but its warning feels more relevant today than ever. Sometimes, the scariest science fiction isn't about the future, it's about how close we already are. 9. Star Crash, 1978. In 1978, when Star Wars was ruling the galaxy, a bold Italian sci-fi film quietly slipped into orbit, Star Crash. At first glance, it looks like a space opera knockoff, but look closer and you'll find a wild, imaginative adventure that feels like a fever dream from the golden age of science fiction. Laser swords clash, planets explode, and a fearless outlaw heroine races across the cosmos to stop an ancient superweapon from destroying the universe. What makes Star Crash unforgettable is its fearless creativity. With limited budget but unlimited ambition, the film leans into vibrant colors, practical effects, and non-stop action, capturing the raw excitement of 1970s sci-fi cinema. Even Hollywood legends like Christopher Plummer and David Hasselhoff joined the ride, adding unexpected star power. Today, Star Crash stands as a cult classic, messy, imaginative, and endlessly entertaining. It's a reminder of a time when science fiction wasn't about perfection, it was about pure wonder. And that's why this forgotten 1970s sci-fi gem still deserves a place among the stars. Number 8. At the Earth's Core, 1976. In the golden age of 1970s science fiction, At the Earth's Core dared to ask a wild question. What if the greatest alien world wasn't in space, but beneath our feet? Based on the classic novel by Edgar Rice Burroughs, the film follows a bold inventor who creates a powerful drilling machine capable of reaching the center of the Earth. But instead of molten rock, he discovers Pellucidar, a hidden world filled with towering dinosaurs, glowing skies, and strange civilizations untouched by modern time. What makes this movie unforgettable isn't flashy CGI, but its pure sense of imagination. The stop-motion creatures, handcrafted sets, and adventurous storytelling captured the fearless creativity of 1970s cinema, when filmmakers relied on vision, not computers. Though it faded from the mainstream, At the Earth's Core remains a cult sci-fi treasure, inspiring generations of underground world adventures that followed. Sometimes the greatest journeys don't go forward, they go deeper. Subscribe for more forgotten sci-fi legends from cinema's past. 7. The Asphyx. In the late 1970s, while Star Wars ruled the box office, a quiet sci-fi horror slipped into the shadows, The Asphyx. Set in Victorian England, the film explores a terrifying idea. What if death itself could be captured and defeated? A brilliant scientist becomes obsessed with a mysterious entity known as the Asphyx, a ghostly force that appears at the exact moment of death. He believes that if this moment is trapped on camera, immortality is possible. But science soon collides with fate. Each attempt to cheat death only brings more tragedy, proving that some boundaries were never meant to be crossed. Unlike flashy space adventures of the era, the Asphyx relies on atmosphere, moral tension, and psychological dread. Its slow burn and philosophical depth made it easy to overlook, but unforgettable for those who discovered it. Today, it stands as a forgotten gem of 1970s sci-fi, reminding us that the scariest future isn't outer space, it's living forever. 6. The Brood, 1979. In 1979, while Alien terrified audiences in space and Star Wars ruled the box office, a darker sci-fi nightmare slipped quietly into theaters, The Brood. At first glance, it looked like a psychological thriller. But beneath the surface, this film explored a chilling sci-fi idea. What if human emotions could physically evolve into something dangerous? Directed by David Cronenberg, The Brood imagines a world where experimental therapy turns trauma into living creatures, born not from science labs, but from the human mind itself. Fear, rage, and grief don't just stay inside, they mutate. What made The Brood unforgettable wasn't flashy effects, it was how disturbingly real it felt. The film blurred the line between psychology and science fiction, asking a terrifying question: can emotions become weapons? Ignored on release and overshadowed by bigger sci-fi hits, The Brood slowly became a cult classic, one that still feels unsettling today. It's not just a forgotten 1970s sci-fi film, it's a warning from the past that emotions, left unchecked, can create monsters of their own. 5. Rollerball. Number 5 on our list is Rollerball, the 1975 sci-fi that predicted a future where corporations run the world and blood sports keep the masses entertained. Imagine a game that's part hockey, part roller derby, and all deadly. That's Rollerball. James Caan stars as Jonathan E., a star player who's just starting to question the system. Behind the spectacle, the movie is a sharp warning about power, control, and how far society could go for entertainment. Critics at the time were stunned, audiences were shocked, and today, Rollerball feels eerily relevant. It's more than just sci-fi, it's a glimpse at a future we might recognize. Missed in most retro sci-fi lists, Rollerball deserves a spot on your watch list. Are you brave enough to play the game? For Silent Running. Imagine a future where Earth's last forests float in space, but no one is left to care. That's the haunting world of Silent Running. In 1972, director Douglas Trumbull brought us this quiet sci-fi gem. The story follows Freeman Lowell, a space botanist, as he tends to the last remaining forests aboard a massive spaceship orbiting a dying Earth. The twist? He's ordered to destroy them. But Lowell can't let them die. He turns the ship into a secret green haven, raising miniature forests and even teaching robots to care for them. It's a story of isolation, defiance, and love for our planet, decades before environmentalism went mainstream. Silent Running wasn't a blockbuster, but its message still echoes today. Want more lost sci-fi classics that will blow your mind? Hit subscribe and join us on a journey through cinema history. 3. Damnation Alley. Imagine the world after a nuclear disaster, highways turned into deadly mazes, and survival isn't just a goal, it's a nightmare. Welcome to Damnation Alley, 1977, a film so wild it was almost forgotten, but it's a must-see for any sci-fi fan. This cult classic follows a group of survivors on a death-defying journey across the U.S., facing radioactive storms, mutant gangs, and roads that seem alive, all in a futuristic armored car that looks straight out of a nightmare. The tension? Relentless. The visuals? Surreal even by today's standards. Critics slammed it, audiences overlooked it, but its daring vision of a world gone mad, coupled with insane stunts and creative practical effects, has earned it a secret cult status among sci-fi lovers. Damnation Alley may have been lost in the shadows of 70s sci-fi, but for those who dare to watch, it's an unforgettable ride through a nuclear wasteland. Don't scroll past this hidden gem. 2. THX 1138, 1971. Imagine a world where your thoughts are monitored, love is illegal, and emotions are chemically suppressed. Welcome to THX 1138, George Lucas' dystopian debut that predicted the cold, mechanical future of society before most sci-fi even dared. THX 1138 is a worker in a sterile underground city, obedient and emotionless, until he stops taking his mandated drugs. Suddenly he feels fear, love, and rebellion. On the run from the oppressive authorities, THX's struggle becomes a fight for freedom and humanity itself. Shot in stark white corridors with haunting minimalism, this film isn't just a story, it's a warning. Its influence echoes in The Matrix, Equilibrium, and countless sci-fi dystopias. Yet, it's often forgotten, buried beneath the shadows of Lucas' later blockbuster fame. Rediscover THX 1138, stream it tonight, and see the blueprint of modern sci-fi unfold. Hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more hidden gems from the golden age of science fiction. 1. Phase 4, 1974. Imagine a desert in Arizona, vast and empty, but teeming with danger you can't see. In Phase 4, a mysterious cosmic event sparks unprecedented intelligence in ants. These tiny creatures start building massive, geometric colonies, and their behavior quickly turns deadly. Scientists are called in, but the ants are one step ahead. Every experiment fails, every plan backfires. Soon, the desert itself becomes a battlefield between humans and an insect society evolving at lightning speed. The tension, the surreal visuals, the eerie soundtrack, everything about Phase 4 screams, weird sci-fi masterpiece. It's not just a movie about ants, it's a haunting exploration of intelligence, survival, and the fragile place of humans in nature. Yet somehow, this visionary 1974 film slipped through the cracks of pop culture. Until now. Fun fact, Phase 4 was directed by Saul Bass, the legendary graphic designer behind Hitchcock titles. If you love weird, mind-bending sci-fi you've probably never seen, this one's a must-watch. That's it for our dive into great 1970s sci-fi classics no one seems to remember. Which of these hidden gems blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear your favorites. If you haven't already, subscribe to Globewise TV and hit the bell so you never miss another deep dive into the coolest, weirdest, and most unforgettable movies out there. Trust us, the best sci-fi you've never seen is just a click away.